Welcome back. I've just bumped a nice perch on this 10-metre line down by the tree stump. I let the bite really develop, but hooked him, but he shed the hook straight away. Definitely a perch. Had it have been a carp or anything else, it would have stayed on. That's on the double dendrobina and a maggot to hold them on over ground bait of all things. Had one little run on the other line that managed to get enough bait to choke a horse into his mouth. God knows how. He was only about 2 ounces, and he took 2 dendrobinas and a maggot, which was pretty outrageous. But that was definitely a perch here. So what I need to do is I'll have another quick go for him, because he might still be in the area. Yeah, that's a nice bite. If not, I'll try and get some live baits and put a live bait down there. That might have just been a small fish having a go at the tail ends of the worm, because the bite I hooked and lost just gave one little indication and then sailed away. Felt like a good fish as well, because the old white elastic come out about 2-3 feet. Oh, another little bite. That's definitely not a big fish. There's something having to go at the ends of the bait. Just give it a bit of a lift and drop. Don't expect I'll get too many opportunities today, but you can't do anything about one that you bump. As I was saying to you earlier, they've got such bony mouths. Unless you get them just right in the scissors or just back from the bony front bit, they very easily bump. Definitely some small fish there worrying it, just mucking about with the ends of the worm. But that's no bad thing, because that means that should a big perch be in the area, you'll see those doing that and just home in on them. We got something, not sure what it is. Could be a perch. No, it's a skimmer bream. Would you believe it? On a bait that big. Look at the worms hanging out of his mouth. Incredible. Come on, skimmer. Little skimmer bream. Pop him back. Bait's okay. As you can see, we're not messing about. I'm going to get that slime off. If you can see the slime on that, got to get that off. Right, we'll go back out and try again. I'm lining up between the middle of that other swim over there, so that I'm putting it right on top of where the bait is, the ground bait went. Nasty little wind. I have got a back shot on, so it should hold it, and that's why I'm using a 50 today. Basically just to keep the bait as still as I want it, and then I can move it myself rather than have it drifting about all over the place. I still think the one I bumped was definitely a perch. Never be surprised to get a carp, but as I say, we're predominantly after perch. That's what I'm after. There's some good perch in the little lake up the back, but unfortunately with all the weather we've had, it's still flooded and you can't get to the swims. But come sort of, well, hopefully May, June, should be able to get into there as well. Some big eels in there as well. I've had eels and perch out of there, both on live baits. You do tend to have to use a live bait in that one because there's so many rudd. The eels in this lake are definitely predatory. They prefer a live or a dead bait, half a roach or something like that, to a bunch of worms, because there's so many fry in here. It's so well stocked. That's their predominant sort of food source. Just lift and drop this one. Put in 2 cups of ground bait with a few casters where I am now, and just little bite then, just loose feeding the other one with a few casters and maggot. But as I say, all I had on the other one was one small rudd. I will try it again in a minute. As I say, I'll have a little swoop for a few live bait in a minute as well. A little lift and drop. Small fish worrying it again. You can just see the little movements on the float. I say a big fish of any description would just take it and be gone. It would just sail away. I don't like to deep hook perch, so it's a real tricky one. You've got to give them enough time for the bite to develop, but don't give them too long as to get it, they swallow it, because they're such gorgeous fish. They're probably one of my favourite species. If I do ever hook them deep, I just cut the hook as far down the line as I can and leave it, and then they throw that hook over a period of time. I don't go digging about in there with a disgorger, because that doesn't do them any good at all. A bit of sunshine. As I say, it's still very cold. Probably still only about 8 degrees, no more. This sunshine we're getting with this northeasterly wind, it flatters to deceive. Behind the wheel of your car you think it's a lovely summer's day, but it's certainly not that when you get outside. If you was facing into the wind today like my friends are down at the ballast bit, I should think that's really cold. Very, very nasty. Right, well I'll switch you off and I'll go and have a little swoop about and see if I can get some small roach for bait, and then come back to you after that. See you in a bit.